Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today, well, the day that this is posted is the 18th anniversary of my 25th birthday. You can do the math on that one, but I have claimed to be 25 since I turned 30, so we're just going to leave it at that. And I tried to figure out for a long time what kind of video to do today instead of just a regular Let's Play like I would normally post. At first I was going to do the Chaos Challenge, which Be Thirsty Pretzel does over on Twitch. But I decided not to do that particular one for this. I still do that off camera, but you know. So I had another idea of something I was going to do, but it involves a lot of set building or home building, or just building in general, and it also involves a lot of creating different sims, and that's just not something I had time for right now. So I will probably do that at some point next year, either for the 2nd anniversary of my YouTube channel or for the 19th anniversary of my 25th birthday. So I was kind of at a standstill, and I saw some questions come through on Twitter that are actually for the sim storytellers on Sembler. So these questions were made for Sembler, but I will kind of alter them for YouTubing, and we're going to discuss I'm going to answer them based off of my Single Teen Mom Life series, which has officially been rebranded and will no longer be the Single Teen Mom Life series when it comes back. But for now, that's just what we're going to say. So there are 33 questions. So I'm going to try to get through these, so this isn't an hour-long video of me rambling about something. Okay, so before I begin this, if you have not watched any of the series or are behind, there may be some spoilers contained in these questions, so be prepared for that. So what's the last screenshot you've taken for your story? I've been working on changing season 1 into machinima form rather than Let's Play form, and I've also been working on filming season 3, which is supposed to come back in September. So the last screenshot I took was from the season 3 premiere, and it's exactly where season 2 left off, pretty much. So not much to see, not much clues in it, but here it is. It's just Natalie. She's been tied up. The poor little girl, she can't catch a break, it seems. Describe your story in 3 words or less. So if I wanted to describe it, it would be a chaotic, romantic drama. And describe, and you can pick any character in 3 words or less. So I'm going to describe Natalie in 3 words or less, since she is the official main character of the series. She is sweet. She is stronger than she'll ever know. And she is, I would say, caring, because she tends to care for everybody, even when they really probably don't deserve it. So how did you choose the name of your story? Well, the official first name of it was Single Teen Mom Life series. And I started planning this series before I even started YouTube. It was planned for YouTube, in fact. And it was during the time I was watching like a lot of the single mom Let's Plays and a few of the 16 and Pregnant and stuff like that series that people were doing. And I kind of wanted to mesh them together instead of doing 2 different Let's Plays. So I came up with Single Teen Mom Life. It has now been rebranded to Betrayals of Love, and if you've watched any of it, Natalie has seen a lot of betrayal from the people that she loves. So again, spoilers if you haven't watched any of it, but she got betrayed by Malcolm, who I don't think she really truly loved, but he was a big part of her kind of coping with her parents' death. And he betrayed her when he just walked away from her and the children that they have together. Obviously, if you've seen any of season 2, you'll see that Malcolm is trying to correct that mistake of at least walking away from the children. And so Natalie has been betrayed by her parents. She has been betrayed by Jackson. She has probably more betrayal coming from people that she loves. It's not just Natalie that's been betrayed. You have Jackson that's been betrayed if you've seen season 2. You have, I guess, Quentin kind of feels betrayed by his dad because his dad didn't tell him the truth about Natalie's parents. And I mean, you're going to see a lot more betrayal. Like I said, the Corderos, who were Jackson's parents, but also best friends to Natalie's parents, will also feel betrayed by some of the events that have happened. And I mean, there's just a whole lot of betrayal going on. How do you choose your characters' names? I create the sim first, and then unless I have a name that I'm like dead set on using, I will normally sit there and just randomize names until one pops up that I feel like fits the sim that I created, and then that's the name I go with. How long have you been working on your story for? This was my very first series put on YouTube, so since March or April of 2020. But I had been working on the idea of it longer than that. So it's been over, a year and a half or almost a year and a half. What's the biggest risk you've taken with your story and did it pay off? The biggest risk I think I took, besides actually starting it, would be when 21 episodes in, I changed it over to a machinima. That part of the story I felt like could only be told in machinima form, and so I did that. And did it pay off? I'm not sure yet, because I mean, I don't know if it paid off. What about your story are you proud of? Pretty much that I even started it. I literally probably recorded the first episode ever like 6 or 7 times, and every time I did it, I didn't like it, and I would go back and redo it. And so the fact that I even did this story is what I'm proud of. What about your story are you looking to improve on? Probably my skills in doing machinimas, and maybe, I don't know, stop being mean to all my characters, because you would think I really hate them as much as I put them through. Is your story fully planned, or are you still working things out? Is there a definitive end? The story is not fully planned out. I do have a point that I want to be the end of it, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get to that particular point, and I don't know what's going to happen in between. As I'm filming episodes, things come to me, things change. Where the story is now is not where I envisioned it to begin with. You will see Stacy in the revamped version of season 1. However, she was not there in the actual season 1. She and Quentin both were Sims I was making for a Create a Sim video, and I ended up liking them so much and envisioned such a story for them that I added them to this series. So I haven't planned the entire series out except for Endpoint, and that's it. Okay, why have you decided to tell this story? Are there any messages or meanings within it? I began the story back when I was watching a lot of single mom Let's Plays and 16 and Pregnant Let's Plays, and that's why I decided to tell Natalie's. And are there any messages or meanings within it? I guess you could say that you just take whatever life is handed to you and you make the best of it, and you do the best that you can to handle those situations. And I guess make sure you have a strong support system. Natalie is collecting people who support her and help her and are there for her, and sometimes even she turns them away, but she has to learn gradually that they're there to help her and that she does need them. Do you actually play the game, or do you just use it as a storytelling medium For this particular story, I started off as a Let's Play, so therefore I actually played the game. But now as a machinima, it's just more of a storytelling medium rather than me actually playing the game. From basic planning to a finished post, how long does that take you? I probably spend about an hour planning out how I want a certain episode to go. It normally takes me maybe 6 or 7 hours to film it all, maybe more, sometimes less. I guess I should throw in maybe about an hour or two in between the planning it out of what I want to happen to filming it, to add in, because I don't keep all my poses and animations in game all the time. There are certain ones that I keep in because I use them frequently, but as for all the other ones, I have them out in another folder, and then I have to add them in before I can film it. So collecting all of the accessories I need, or finding the animations or poses I need, giving them outfits, maybe searching for another set that I need or location or something like that. So about another hour or two, and then about 6 or so, just say 5+ hours of recording it, depending on how cooperative my Sims are, depending on how elaborate the scene is supposed to be, whether or not I remember to take the cursor off the middle of the screen before I record it, and all of that. And then probably another good 5 hours of editing. There's a lot that I know I can skip through because it's stuff that I know wasn't ever needed. It's just I just have it still recording when I'm doing it. But otherwise, about 5 hours of cutting and piecing and all that good stuff. And then probably another hour to find music because, well, that's not my favorite part at all. It's a good 15 hours from basic planning to a finished post, not counting YouTube's upload time. Do you have any regrets about your story so far? If you could go back in time, how would you fix these? The only regrets that I have, that I really can't say is a regret, is that it wasn't a machinima from the beginning. At the time, I really didn't know what machinimas were, even though my intro to it originally was kind of in a kind of machinima form. I mean, I didn't realize that's what it was. I was just piecing together certain in-game events to build up to where the story was supposed to begin. But if I could go back knowing what I know now, I would make it a full machinima from the beginning. I just feel like that would probably be the best way to tell this story. What have been the highlights of creating your story? Probably the highlights are seeing how things change just from filming one scene in one episode changes the whole course of several episodes. Jackson was supposed to always marry Natalie. I had always planned for that to be the end. And then I created Quentin, and that all changed. And honestly, I don't ever want to think of Natalie with anybody else besides Quentin, but well, we'll see how that goes. I mean, just the way my creative process changes based on what I'm filming. The whole Stacy and Brayden, or whatever his name is, that whole story of them being friends with benefits just came to me as I was filming a scene of him asking her to help lure Natalie away. It just hit me that, you know, this could work as them being friends with benefits. This whole Stacy getting mixed up with this. All of this could really be beneficial later on. And it wasn't until I made them friends with benefits that it hit me to alter her pregnancy story using Brayden. And if you haven't seen season 2, you don't understand what any of that means. But if you've seen season 2, you understand how Brayden fits into Stacy's pregnancy with Jackson. So all of that just came to me like in the middle of filming a different scene, and I was like, that works, and I changed things. So that's been the highlight, is watching my creative process change and adapt to what I currently have. What about the process do you enjoy? The best part of the process to me is coming up with what's going to happen in each episode. Just the whole process of the story evolving and forming, that's probably my favorite. I mean, I did want to write books once upon a time, so the whole creative thing has always been there. My favorite part is actually coming up with it in order for it to become a machinima. What about the process do you hate? Sometimes the editing, depending on how much of it I have to do, but I also absolutely hate finding music for it because I feel like I'm not really good at that part of it. Choose a song that reminds you of your story. Honestly, I can't think of a song. I love music, but I can't really come up with one that like reminds me. Like when I hear it, I think of this story. I used to have some that made me think of it back in the earlier days of it and stuff like that. But as for right now, I'm not. If I could think of one, I'll paste it up during editing. But I'm not sure. Choose a song that reminds you of, and then insert character here. Let's do Natalie since she is the main central character. A song that reminds me of Natalie, probably maybe Fighter by Christina Aguilera or Even Stronger by Britney Spears, because she's both. She's a fighter and she's stronger, and she gets stronger with each new thing that pops up in her life. Choose your favorite shot from your story so far. So I guess I will just put a bunch of make a montage of a bunch of pictures of Natalie and Quentin because they are my absolute favorites from here, and really they don't take any bad pictures. My least favorite shot was probably either Natalie finding Jackson and Stacy, because I really hated doing that to her. I felt like I was feeling what she would feel when when she supposedly opened the door and saw them. I can't really do scenes exactly like I see them in my head, but I feel like I felt that with her and all that. And I really hated the scene where in the Darby's Den, I think it is, where Brayden kind of cornered her and then forced a kiss on her. I didn't really like that, but I wanted to show the extent of how obsessed with her he was. Choose a favorite character from your story so far. I've pretty much said it over and over. Natalie is my favorite. I really love Quentin. I kind of grew to love Carlo, who was never even my sim. He was a EA sim, and I thought he would fit being in the military with Quentin. And then I kind of made him have like this little childish like air to him, and I mean, he tries to be funny, and I don't know if he really comes off as being funny, but he tries, and he thinks he's funny, so he just goes with it. So choose your least favorite character so far. Brayden, absolutely. He also was not one of mine. He was also an EA townie that popped up, but he was in the, I guess, wrong place at the right time, and he became Natalie's stalker. There's a whole lot more story as to why he's obsessed with her, and a whole lot more of that would be explained in season 3, but he's one of my least favorite, as well as Stacy. I did create Stacy. I kind of, as I was creating her, created her particularly for this story. Like, I started off with it just being a cast video, but then as I was creating her, I was like, she would be perfect to be this person in single teen mom life. So then I started creating her towards that persona, and I mean, I actually hated doing that to her, but well, she is what she is. So those are probably my 2 least favorite characters. Are there any characters who remind you of yourself? In the fighter aspect, it would be Natalie. And I guess, and also in the whole, she always wants to see the good in people. Other than that, I don't think I really fit in with any of the other characters in this story. What inspirations have you drawn on from your story? Really, there have been no inspirations. I didn't really take inspiration to create a single teen mom life story from any particular place. I mean, it's just common events that can happen. So really there was no inspiration drawn on from my story, but I did start creating it at the time I was watching Fantasia's single dad life let's play. have other sim stories inspired you? I kind of just answered that. A lot of the single mom, single dad stories, a lot of the teen mom stories, it kind of all inspired me to create this one. What genres would you describe your story as? Drama, absolutely. Romantic at times, or I guess a romantic drama. Do those exist? Romantic drama? There's romance, but there's a whole lot of drama. There is some suspense in it. I guess you could go as far as to say there's some mystery from some events, especially concerning Natalie's parents' flight that killed them. There's a mystery there. What's the mystery? It will be solved in season 3 as well. If you could reproduce your story in another medium, what would you choose and why? Movie. I would make it into a movie where, using real people, I could actually create the scenes as I see them in my head. I see a scene in my head, but I can't always find the right animation or the right sequence or anything like that to create it exactly as I see it. So some things kind of like if you could see inside my head, a lot of things would make a lot more sense. But yeah, I would definitely make it into a movie. Drop some random trivia about your story. Kai was originally created to be Natalie's new man in high school, but Jackson kind of started coming around a whole lot, and I kind of thought maybe that was the direction to go. So Kai kind of isn't used in the purpose I originally had him for. I chose Malcolm Landgrab to be her twin's father because of how snotty him and his mother are, and they totally seem like the pair that would kind of disown Natalie and the twins. And of course, I made Jeffrey be the caring one that goes behind Nancy's back and all of that because it fit the traits that he had been given in game. He was good, whereas Nancy and Malcolm were bad. And so I wanted to show that contrast in how the three of them approached Natalie's pregnancy announcement. Other than that, what other trivia could it be? I had chosen the names Jada and Jaden for her baby, and when she had twins, it worked out perfectly because I could use both of them. Anyway, I give a light spoiler. Natalie will endure a whole lot more in the next seasons. She will eventually get her happily ever after, but it's going to take a lot of heartache and a lot of work for her to get to that point. What would your story's rating be? Like rated G, rated PG? I'm gonna go with M, only because I do have a couple of episodes that show some mature stuff, and it typically involves Stacy, you know, because she's just Stacy. But so I'm gonna say M, and also probably because if you were leaving Sembler and had to choose another creator to continue the story for you, who would you ask? There are so many talented simmers out there that could probably do maybe even a better job than me with my own story. But if I were leaving and I wanted it to continue, I would choose the Mom Cave because A, she does machinimas, and B, because we have kind of the same storytelling vibe. Like, I feel like she would give Natalie the justice, you know, do Natalie the justice that she deserves. So I would leave it in the hands of the Mom Cave if I were to ever have to give it up. And recommend another creator's story. Again, there are so many good simmers out there with so many awesome stories, but I am going to say the Mom Cave's The Curse. It's The Curse, Foxberry, and The Crown. It's kind of like you have to watch them in that order for the whole story to make sense. The Crown is season 2 of The Curse, and Foxberry comes in between them. However, I feel like you have to watch all 3 in the right order in order to completely piece the whole story together. And also, you have Some Life for Jen, her machinimas. If you like the 18 plus supernatural type machinimas, that's what she does. They are really good. So I would recommend there too. I always feel bad trying to recommend people because it's always like I feel like I'm gonna leave somebody out and somebody's feelings are gonna get hurt, and I definitely do not want to hurt anybody's feelings because like I said, there's so many talented people out there. Be Thirsty Pretzel, her Let's Plays, Lily B. Simmon, or Lily B. Simming. She does really good Let's Plays as well. So, I mean, like I said, there's so many talented people out there that it's just hard to recommend any one person's story. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed learning more about the process behind Betrayals of Love, formerly known as Single Teen Mom Life. Like I said, I am in the process of redoing the first 21 episodes into machinima form, which will probably shrink in the amount of episodes through the whole series, because a lot of those 21 episodes was just actual gameplay that you really wouldn't translate into a machinima. I'm in the process of redoing it like that, and so I'm trying to have that done before season 3 begins. And then season 3 is supposed to come back the first weekend in September. May get pushed back, I'm not sure. And we will find out what happens from that very awesome cliffhanger at the end. We all know who took Natalie. Now we're going to try to figure out the why behind it. Is he really that obsessed with her that he had to kidnap her to make her his, or does he have some sort of ulterior motive where he is out to hurt somebody? So I guess we will find out. And thank you for listening to me ramble so much on my birthday. It means a lot to me. And if you are new here, please look around, see if there's anything that you would like to watch. A lot of my earlier stuff does sound like hot garbage because I had a really bad microphone and I didn't know how to fix it in the editing process. But other than that, look around, see if there's anything. I've got a whole lot of stuff. If you are a frequent visitor, thank you so much for watching yet again. Leave me some comments down below. Be sure to give this video a like. Please subscribe if you aren't already, so that you can always see my new videos as they're posted. I do have a Discord, it's linked below. I have a Twitter that I do share my videos and other things on, as well as an Instagram. I will see you in the next video. Bye.